a sketchbook tour of my big, fat art journal. Ooh. Hello everyone, I'm Caroline, and today I thought I'd take you on a little bit of a sketchbook tour of my art journal. It's very fat, as you can see, so I'm hoping that all the pages will stay in focus. They are very bendy. And this was the first page. I decided I was going to make this the cover and then put it on, and then I realised every time I opened my book I would squash my flower, and I didn't want to do that because it's quite three-dimensional and I love it. So I've kept this as a separate sheet. I have put this on with giant paper clips because I didn't want to glue it on, because again, the same problem. If ever I want to look at it, I can just take off the paper clips. Well, if ever I want to look at my art journal, and then I can move it out of the way and clip it back on later. So I'm using a mixed media. This is a Daler Rowney A4, 250 grams per square metre. So let's get stuck in and have a look. Now, this was my first ever really journaling page, and I wasn't sure what I was doing. I've used some acrylics and I cut out some flowers. I think there's a video showing me making this, and the flowers are made from an old book that I then did some acrylic paint over and then drew some petals in. So how does your garden grow flower? I didn't have any silver bells and cockle shells. Now, the theory was I was going to be able to do this book this way completely, then turn it around and do it the other way completely, so that it would be easier. I wouldn't be drawing on the back of something until I was sure it was dry. That didn't work. I kept forgetting which way up it was. So this is going to be a bit of a topsy-turvy come video. So the first page you're supposed to be seeing is this, which we will turn over and get to that on the way back. And here we got friends. Now, my friend Phyllis made me this background, so I thought, what a good idea to make a journaling page on friends. So I did. And there we are. We're on each side of the Atlantic, and there's a little string holding us together and a little bow. This was the first time I'd actually glued fabric on. It was quite exciting. I also used, like these, it's from a patchwork book. So there are bits of fabric looking pieces, but they're not. They're just magazines. Now this, I'm not quite sure how this ended up here. This is not art journaling, this is just art. This is painting. It should have been in my other sketchbook, but it ended up in here. So there you go, you've got my little teddy bear trying to comfort a poor crying girl by giving her a daisy and giving her a tickle under her chin. This was from the 12th of March 2021. That is a long time ago. Normally, I finish up art journals much faster than that, or sketchbooks. But I've got so many on the go at the moment. I seem to be always working on a couple here, a couple there, and things just not getting finished up. But they will do soon. Right, this is an example of things being the wrong way up, so we'll get to that on the way back. And then this, to inspire you. And I put these old couple, well, I don't suppose she looks much older than him. It looks like a mother and son. And to inspire you, because I was just thinking along the lines of the make-do amends. There's a lot of light shining on my glue. On the make-do amends type life that they lived, and times were hard. So I put in this little paper measuring tape, which went, I thought, with a little bit of fabric, because they often made their own clothes, and some paper doily and some hearts, and another bit out of that magazine. You can see there. Looks very fabricy, but it's not. A great way of making it look like you can sew when you can't. Right, turning over, and they're the wrong way up, so we'll skip those. And then there's this. I did some background first. I did this green, and it was very pretty. I really enjoyed doing that. And then I cut out a beautiful orange rose to go on it, which is glistening again. Too much glue. And I didn't know what to do with it. I was completely stuck. I thought, well, I've got too much on there. It's already developed as an image. What am I going to do? So I left it, I moved on, and then eventually I made myself come back to it. So I put this washi tape over a piece of lace there. We got a piece of lace here with some little cut-out flowers and two little tags there, which I haven't written on yet. I will debate what I'm going to write on those. And then I've got this little envelope with some lace inside, and if you pull that out, Look at another little tag. I do love my butterfly braid. Goes on everything. This was actually the little plastic sticker off the end of a roll of washi tape. I loved it so much and it fitted in oranges there. Put that in there. So I got oranges on there, oranges in there, which made me look as if I'd very carefully coordinated it by buying that sticker. I didn't, it was just something I had. Right, these are the wrong, no, this one isn't the wrong way up. I'm losing all sense of direction now. Oh, sorry I'm having to hold it up. It's just my light is really reflecting badly. Let's see if I can do anything with that. See if that helps. No, it doesn't. Oh well. Well, I'll hold it up a little bit. So this I made when I was on holiday and I just had a magazine, very limited supplies. So I decided, let's have a look, see if I can come up with anything that would make a story of a page. And so I put free your mind, and then her mind is in this, for some inexplicable reason, sort of gravy boat thing. No, it's not, is it? It's more like a tureen with some candlesticks and some butterflies and a clock. So I'm sure that if you look long enough, you can come up with a really deep-seated meaning for that. It is a little bit thought-provoking, which I liked, but I'm not sure what thoughts are supposed to be being provoked. I suppose it's all down to the person looking at the picture. A bit like the author-reader relationship in writing, in that whatever I think that this is going to provoke in your mind, it can just do something completely different with you. We're all different. Now this was another background I had of Phyllis. You can see here, this washi tape I had. Brilliant idea because it's transparent, but it's quite shiny. So you could never get away from the fact that it is washi tape, especially when you've got a filming light up there. But still, it's okay, and I really enjoyed doing this one. I think the colours were really enjoyable for me. It's strange, I know, but I'm very influenced by the colours I'm doing. Sometimes I'll start a journaling page and I'm not enjoying it, and the reason I'm not enjoying it is because I don't like the colours, but I love the colours on this. So more of this shiny washi tape, and I can't remember if no, this is a lift up, it wasn't a slide-in tag. So we've got all those, and underneath there is a little butterfly, and I've written, friendship is a gift, always free, ever faithful, and friendship and company, always there for each other, help in times of trouble. I wrote on the top of this with some swirly whirlies with my Posca pen, and some those semi-transparent stickers on too. Oh, and some butterflies. Now these are cut out of a piece of tissue paper. My friend Dawn bought me a gift for Christmas, wrapped it in these butterfly tissue paper pieces, and so I tore them out and put them on there, so I will always remember Dawn too. They're brilliant, these art journals, for ways of creating memories and then sticking those memories somewhere so that you can come back, look at them and think, oh yes. Now this background I had a lot of trouble with. This was another one that Phyllis sent me, and I couldn't get it to come together. I just couldn't get anything in my head that made it work as a whole. So I thought, well, let's just stick loads of bits on and enjoy it. Just enjoy feeling free and having no preconceived ideas. Let's just make it colourful. So I did, and I think I fulfilled it there because it's definitely colourful. And there's little gnome reading a book there. Now this page, I decided I was going to try some acrylic roses. You can see they're not the best acrylic roses in the world, but then I saw this lady and she was stood up originally, but because I cut her off at the middle and tilted around, she looks like she's dancing through the flowers, which reminded me of the song Tiptoe Through the Tulips, even though they're roses. I was going to do something with this, but I am completely stumped with this one. I can't think of anything that I could put on it. I can think of no words that for me would suit it, so it's staying like that. There we go. Right, now this still is one of my favourite. I was on holidays, and again I was working from this one magazine, a little bit restrictive, and I decided, simply change your mind were good words. And I had this person here with this dress on and also another one. So what I decided to do was, now I've stretched the imagination a little here. Can you see it without the light shining? This head here says creativity. This is an orange bag. If I take this one out, This one says, laugh. Now, I know she isn't really laughing. She looks more like she's singing, but for the purpose of this, we'll pretend that she's laughing. So if you want to change your mind, you can put on your creativity head. That goes in there, and she's now looking completely different, even though she's not looking very creative. But it was all the creative juices that I had to come up with something from that magazine, and I'm really pleased with it. I love this. And just the thing of change your mind. If something isn't working, if it's not living up to your expectations, then just change your expectations a little, and it really does help. The only thing I will do before I shut this, I'm going to take this head out and put it in here, because for some reason that one stays in and this one falls out of the little net, and I've almost lost it a few times. So pop that in, pop your hand over there, come on, you can do it. There we go. And she's singing again. She's laughing, isn't she? Oh, the background is just some playing around with acrylic paints and some stencils, and this is a Stabilo All. It's a pencil, it's brilliant. You put it around the edges and wet it a little bit, rub it in, and it just gives you that, it brings the image together, I think. I also put some around her body as well to try and make that look a little bit more in keeping with the whole image, trying to pull it all together as one. Right, this one was another one that Phyllis sent me. Let's see if I can turn it around. It's only just fitting, isn't it? And this was a hand with, it was Phyllis's hand, and she drew around a piece of, well, she drew around her hand on a piece of music paper and then decorated it. And then she photocopied it, sent it to me. And so I put on the words contemplation. I added these stickers and a little bit of dots there with my Posca pens, and I think that's about it. Oh, I added these little wiggly bits and this compass too. More, as you can see, Stabilo All around the edge. Right, let's lower this down. It's getting closer to the camera when I do it like that. Right, so this is another one. Every week Phyllis and I exchange backgrounds. This is why there are so many backgrounds in here from Phyllis. This, she sent me, it didn't have the bird or the flower. Excuse me. It had a lot of the patterning. It didn't have that flower either. Let's check. No, it didn't have that. It's so long ago. I'm trying to remember exactly how much I added. If I turn it up that way, you can see. And these were all kept from that same magazine. It was a really obscure magazine. It had a bit of everything in it. And so I put Ink and Indigo. Now, this I did have from the Patchwork magazine that I'd cut a few bits out to take with me. So Ink and Indigo was the only little phrase that I had that would fit this image. So whoop, in Ink and Indigo it was. And Stabilo All again. This I loved. I so enjoyed doing this. It took forever. First thing I did was got some coffee grinds and I smeared them all over the paper, and then I left it to dry. That took a whole day. Then I added some colour and some splodges, and the gold went on later. Let that dry. Then I put this face on. I drew some coffee cups, glued those on. Then I went around the outside with Stabilo All, put on the gold paint and glued on Coffee Please. I was really pleased with the way that came out. Another background from Phyllis, surprise, surprise. You can tell at this point that I was only doing one journaling item a week, really. And there you can see the background that she sent me. I added this. Now, you'll never guess this. That was from the same magazine as all the other images. But look at that hair. It was so wonderful. I had to put it in. And then this was just a little embellishment I had with me. Some ribbon of my Easter egg, because it was Easter time. So I thought, oh, I could use that in journaling. So I put it on there, tried drawing some dots. It didn't go well, but it's okay. An amazing summer, because we were at holidays by the seaside, even though it was only Easter. Certainly not warm enough to get in the water. Now this one, I'm going to have to show you both sides. You've got this girl facing that way, and when she's looking, there is a picture saying, be bold, make today count. If I turn it that way, you can see them. But then, if you turn her over that way, it's a different person. And inspire, achieve, you've got this. So that is a double page spread with, it's a Dutch door really, isn't it, in the middle. And one girl one side, one girl the other side. And oh dear, we've got one this way again. I hope it's focusing on that. The problem is, sometimes it focuses on the squares and I don't want it to focus up here. So this one was lots of different things from Sears catalogues and some receipts and things. So I put on this retail therapy. I cut out some bits and pieces that this lady may have bought, put some money signs on, and generally decorated it with some pretty bits and pieces. Right, back to the right way up. Now this isn't really art journaling, this is just art. Just a second, must remember to keep that flat and focus down here. This was made with watercolour. Well, first of all, I put some gesso on the page to stiffen it up, and then I put some string and some bits of paper. There's a bit of old camera film there, lots of bits and pieces, stuck them all on. Then I went over the top with gesso again. Then I squirted with a squirt bottle different colours of food colouring on. And I loved this. I just loved the effect it was getting. Then I got my gold watercolour paints, my Como Rebi paints out. And I squirted some on there. And I just think that is wonderful. And I'm going to do a bigger version of that. I want to do a huge one. I think that is going to be a lot of fun. Right, this girl, she's got gesso for her hair. Sounds a bit weird, but I thought, I wonder if I can make a texture to the hair with gesso and then paint her with watercolours. And I think it worked okay. That was the 25th of April of this year. And I don't know if you can see the texture. I don't want to bend it because it'll crack. But I thought that was a nice touch. Right, that one's upside down, so we'll skip that one. Another background of Phyllis's, and this one had a little girl and a middle-aged or a young lady and then an older lady on here. So, no it didn't. I put those on. I was thinking that came out of my pattern book. That came out of a magazine, and this I drew. So, I put on here, be happy, be bright, be you, and I can't remember if I turned it into a lift-up tab or not. Well, there you have it. I didn't. So there's nothing written under there, but it's be happy, be bright, be you. I love these old patterns for images in your journal. Isn't it gorgeous? And I put a butterfly on her hair. You can see, I told you about these butterflies earlier from my gift from Dawn, and very useful. I've still got a load left. Right, this was a background that I made and sent to Phyllis, and it was a bit boring. It had these daffodils here and some bits and pieces around. Needed a lot more work on it. So I decided, at first I thought, oh, it'll be okay. There's enough going on there. I'll leave it. But I thought, no, it's not really, is it? That's an excuse. So being yellow, I put on some daffodils. We're from Wales. Daffodil is our national flower. And these daffs here, this little cluster here, that is some, oops, you see the green yarn I used to sew the button on. A little bit of yellow fabric and find time to laugh out loud. I'll tip it that way in case you can't see everything. And over we go. Oh no, it's another long one. Hoping you can see that. And this says, follow your heart. And if you lift that up, it says, she believed she could, so she did. Oh, you can't see that, can you? There we go. She believed she could, so she did. And believe in yourself. There's the image. So really all I did with this, some Stabilo all around the outside, made this tab, popped it on, and that was about it. It was such a nice background. It didn't need a lot of effort. Right, are we ready for the right way up? Yes, we are. Ta-da! This says, in harmony, and there were, I'm trying to figure out which bits I added because I think I added most of this. This was on here, I know. I think I added this, and I think I added this too. So it was mainly just background on this one, and then I added all the sticky on bits. Guess what I used around here? That's right, a pencil called a Stabilo All. So this one, and this was a piece of receipt from, I can't see a date, in 19 something, London, a long, long time ago. Sanctuary. Look at that. Turn it that way in case it's a bit shiny. So this was mainly collage, room in the garden, and underneath it's got a little bit of this dryer sheet. I love using dryer sheets. I think they give a lovely effect around the outside. Not written on anything on that yet. And I drew this girl and coloured her in with acrylics. I'm trying to learn to paint with acrylics. It's easier said than done for me. I'm used to watercolours. I glued that on her hair, put a little greenhouse here. And there's just lots of pretty things from a garden. And then we're at the end. So now we have to turn it around. Now, in theory, this was going to be the right way up. I just realised it was the right way up. For some reason, I did that and then I did this. Ugh, I don't know. It's late in the night. That's my excuse, okay? Life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the number of moments that take our breath away. And then this was made with lots of strips of magazines, any old rubbish, just glued on in squares and strips. Then I put gesso over the top, which gave it a really gorgeous effect. You'd never believe that was all rubbishy bits and pieces underneath. Then there's a piece of my hand-dyed paper and a few little sentiments and embellishments and things that I popped on. This and this I had from Lynn. She sent it me in Happy Mail. So that was wonderful. And a big crocus, just because it seemed a very purpley sort of picture. I think probably from all the bits of colour underneath the gesso. So now let's turn it around and see if I've got it right this time. Ta-da! This says garden. I'll tip it up in case there's anything that's hidden. I can't tell. My monitor's got these like green sparkles all over it. It's not very well. So this was a bit of a milk bottle. I split it up and then I warmed it with a hairdryer and it all curled. Thinking it would look sort of frilly gardenish, but I think it looks like somebody's false eyelash, doesn't it? But it's still pretty. A little flower, and there's a little bit from the bottom of a plastic bottle there that I painted. This is a little bit of gauzy stuff. I'm not quite sure what it is. It's plasticky. So I put that on there, and there we got this circle, which was from a plastic bottle that I cut off, painted. And all these are acrylic. There are more butterflies. And on here, I got a toilet paper holder, roll, the cardboard ones, flattened it down, cut it to size and put a little tag in. Believe. So that goes back in there. And at this point of working on this junk journal, really, it's an art journal come junk journal, a bit of everything. This was done, again, the beginnings of it, when I was on holidays and I had very limited cardboard or anything. So it was toilet paper tubes or nothing. Right, show you this. I think you can see it. I'm not quite sure. There. So this is Life is the Art of Drawing Without an Eraser. I like that. It's right now. You can't go back and change anything. So this was Batman. And I cut his head off and I stuck, is that Catherine Zeta-Jones or somebody else? I don't know who they are. And then I put this, so it looks like her dress is showing through the cape, because before I did this, cut it out, there was like a Batman symbol or something, so that needed to go. And then you may recognise that girl from the one with the two heads, and I stuck it over the face of this man on the wall. I think it's actually, oh, it's a locket. I'm not sure. I think it's a locket, but I made it, because of the proportions, it's a picture on the wall. And more collage, more white bits of Posca pen around there, and more black Stabilo on the edges. Right, this was a really amusing one that Phyllis sent me. The Good Life, the simple pleasures, whipped heavy cream, Skippy, super chunk peanut butter. I stuck this one on there, which is Lindo. They're a very nice chocolate. And then, oh, pretty flowers all over it. And these people, sorry, these were also on here when I got it. And they're people at the fun fair on one of the crazy water rides. I'm trying to figure which way it is now. I'm getting lost. That way. And there we go. Turn it over. Summer comfort, tasty, mixed salad with orange dressing. I decided to put that little recipe here. It's also oranges, lemons, greens, and this is lemon shred. crack a meal today. This is a vintage advertisement from a magazine, and this is actually the background of one I sent to Phyllis, and I laid out some kitchen cutlery and things. There's a skewer, a fork, there's a spoon, I think there's a knife somewhere in there, but that got covered. And then I just sprayed it all over with a mister bottle with different colours of watercolour, and then when it dried, picked them up, and then you've got this background. And that's, I think, really what inspired me to do food, and the colour green just goes with yellow and orange. Now this was one Phyllis sent me back in time, and there were some people knitting or doing whatever. I can't really, opening parcels, I think they are. But I only had a bus magazine at this point. So I decided I'll cut the buses out and I'll make something to do with buses as well. So I put these 3 buses on and the word buses. And I went around the back in time to make it really stand out. So we got vintage buses with some vintage people, and back in time, and good old faithful Stabilo all. Now, the order of these is starting to get really haphazard because I ended up going on the wrong page or flipping through too many, and so there's no chronological order to these anymore, so just bear with me. This is something that I made while we were away on our recent holiday, and somebody had bought me, thank you Lexi and Elaine, some orange truffles. So, well, she didn't buy them for me. It was for me and my husband for our anniversary, but I ate at least half. Anyway, moving on. So I already had this picture done, excuse me, with some acrylic paint. Oh dear. So I glued on some orange things. There's some of the covering from the sweets, and I put these little bells on. There, onto some ribbon and some little bit of embellishments with a wooden butterfly. A tasty treat. This was from a bag of oranges, and it's orange. But then I did have some trouble with this, trying to get this to stick. It's got more glue than is safe to use, I'm sure. But then it works like a little door, and you open it up and there's the man making my chocolates. Shut it down, and this is the little flap to lift it up, but I keep my finger here because I think with all the glue I've used, it's still not that safe. I think it's because the cardboard is quite thick and already was bending the way it wanted to go and would not behave. I'm just looking here now. We've missed this one because this is this way up, and this was a background I had and I wasn't sure what to do. I thought, well, because of the browns, I'd like to go for something aged and vintage. So I had one of these Tim Holtz dolls. Made this little embellishment here. Successful family maker. I gave her the name Rose. I had a piece of paper that said born in 1808. I thought, right, okay, so she's born in 1808. That was the only thought process behind it. I got this bit of fabric and did some stamping of some numbers on there. Just obscure numbers, nothing special, nothing that really matched in. But it makes you think, doesn't it? What could that mean? I love things that are a bit thought-provoking. So moving this back over, we've got this one, which I think is a bit uneventful, isn't it? It did have something really awful on it, so I then gessoed on some of this lace underneath, which hid the really ugly bits, but then I wasn't sure what to do. So I put some ribbon, and this is lace cut off a dress that I glued on there. It's quite stretchy, very difficult to glue on. Twice as long by the time you've finished. So then I got this little lace pocket here, and inside is an envelope with a little rose circle cut out to hold it closed, and I could use that to write in whenever I fancy writing something down. That goes back in there with a little rose stuck on there. This says flower time because there are flowers around. We got a butterfly, and then in here I've got a playing card with a lady holding some flowers, who's actually the queen, I suppose. And we've got some flowers here with a watering can and the word greenhouse, and Vicks flower vegetables. So I'm assuming that's like a seeds or something like that. I'll pop those in later, and over we go. Now there is no sense to this at all. This is stuck in, and it's purely stuck in to remind me of the first time we went out to eat after lockdown. It had been 18 months and we finally went out for the Wetherspoons. And I brought this little, those placemats, I suppose they call them. They were throwing them away. Everything was disposable. So I thought, well, rather than throw it away, I'm going to bring it home and remember my first breakfast out at Wetherspoons. Now this shirt, I can't remember what's under these doors, but I know Phyllis sent me this. Wait a minute, I think it's a girls who wear glasses. So first of all, we got this little tag. It's a really tatty looking tag. I got off some things I bought at an auction. And we'll bend that up that way. No, we need to take it out. And it's girls who, this is just a page from a calendar. And then if you open the other bit, it says wear glasses. Now, I'm not sure of the relevance of this, but I thought it made a really nice, interesting thing with the two doors. And because I used the month of March, and because that was brown, I think it really ties in with the vintage idea. And the little tabs to lift them up just adds a little bit more interest. When it comes to journaling, the more interest, the better. Right, we've seen that one. Oh, donuts and Greggs. We went on holidays, and when we were on holidays, there was a Greggs, and I love donuts, and Greggs sells donuts. So we brought the little bag back, and then I drew the word donuts, and I drew all the donuts. And this was an ugly background again. So I, again, gessoed some lace over the top so it doesn't look so ugly. And then put lots of interest on. So now it looks a lot better. Right, that one, I'm not quite sure why we missed that one. We'll turn this around. This journal is quite heavy. And this has got some paper dolls from Tim Holtz. And I was trying to do some painting. Some waterflower colours. They weren't my best, so I thought, I know I can stick things over the top. Here's a little tag. I cut 2 hearts out to put here, so I thought, ooh, that looks good. So I used it as a little tag with the holes cut out. And a little butterfly I stuck on, and one there, and a few little dots. I don't know why, I just did a few little dots. Right, turn it around again. It's good weightlifting practice, this. And it's another one catching me out this way. Now this was a background Phyllis sent me. It was so pretty, I didn't want to do anything to it, but I thought, well, I need to do something. So I got this word out of my box, panacea. Definition, cure for all ills, magic remedy for all ailments. And I know a cat doesn't cure all ailments, but doesn't it make you feel so much better when you tickle a cat and he purrs? Or she purrs. Right, oh dear, where are we going now? Trying to get the end of the book. Oh, there we are. Turn that over. Oh no, it's another long one. And this one says, escape. Blewett's Quaker something. I don't think there was anything under there. Cades Cove, Tennessee. Now this, as you can tell, Phyllis is from Tennessee. And these are some old pictures she got. And she made a lovely journaling page for me. And then I added on flowers there and there, this little house and the butterfly and the word escape. Doesn't it really make you want to escape to the countryside and just forget all your worries? Right, let's see if we're the right way up again. Oh, there's some more flowers. I'm not quite sure why I ended up painting flowers in this. It wasn't supposed to be for painting. I think I must have picked up the wrong book. So there we go, just some flowers. I'm just trying out some acrylics. I really struggle with keeping the evenness of acrylics, but I'll get there. I'll work on it. Now, when we were on holidays, we went to Lush. I love Lush. It is silly expensive when you think how much they charge for a bar of soap, but it's really special for a treat. So I went to Lush and we got some, I got some soap and a Lucky Cat bath melt. So we didn't get these things, but I did get soap, but it wasn't in that shape. A teddy bear. And this is a bath bomb and some squirty strawberry something or other. Hand lotion, shall we say. I just made it up. And I just wanted it pinks and purples and reds, and I made lots of bubbles, drew those, coloured them in, glued them on. That looks like a smiley face. And I opened up the Lush bag. I put in some of this tissue paper to make it look like it was a real gift box, even though it was only a little bag. But that will always remind me of my holiday and when I went to Lush. Now this is Sweet Meadow Falls, another background that Phyllis made me, beautiful mark making on it. And I was looking, thinking, what can I do with this? It's saying something to me, this background, but I don't know what. And then I thought, well, it speaks me of craft and making things and creating things. I don't know why, it just does. So I wove this, I made some holes in a piece of card and wove this mat, put it on the back of a map. And the two of the phrases that fitted, I didn't have many, were Sweet Meadow Falls. So I thought, oh yes, it looks like this was made in Sweet Meadow Falls. And these are some pictures she sent me too. So I thought, well, I'll pop those in because these were created by her. This was created by me. We've got a little bird sticker. I'm not quite sure where that came from. And a butterfly. Oh, and these are some strips of a piece of fabric I've torn up. So they went so well with the colours of this, I think. I don't know whether this would have been enhanced by having some black all around the edge. I don't think so. I think it would have been too oppressive for such a cheerfully coloured image. What do you think? Would you put black around the edge and smudged it, or brown, or would you leave it as it is? Uh-oh, it's an end on one. Now, this has got 10.58. No reason other than I just wanted... I didn't have a 9, so I couldn't put that. I got one missing, it's the 9. So I put, well, I'll put 10.58, and it just gives it an obscure random number. Now, this was a background Phyllis sent me, and there's a stamp I put on there with a little bit of green lace there and a bit of paper cut there with a little... I'll show you now, one of these scissors. I got various different patterns. And a butterfly and a doily I put on. Now this man is here. I was trying to figure out what I would do with him. But then I thought, oh, I know where I can put him. I put this little flap to hide Western Supermare. But this looks like he's about to lift and go, all will be revealed, ladies. Da-da! Western Supermare. And so just so you know, I put a little arrow pointing up saying, look up there. And there it is. On the top end here, we've got another stamp. Oh, that was actually put on there by Phyllis. Oh, sorry. And there's a sticker there and a little bit of lace and some washi tape. Oh, and I stamped this too. I've got a stamp with somebody's signature on. I have no idea who they are, but they had a stamp made a long, long time ago. It's an old vintage one. Let's open this out again because it's very fat. This, I had the background made. I was thinking, what on earth can I make with this background? And I was looking through some magazines I had and found this picture of Bach. So I put that in because it was black. And then I put some white flowers on to brighten up the blackness a bit. And well, if it's Bach, you've got to put some music on, haven't you? No idea who wrote this music. Probably not Bach, but don't tell anybody. That's our little secret. Now, this has got a story to tell. Oh, I had some vintage paints. And I thought, oh, I'll mix them up. I put some tissue paper down with some gesso. And then on the top, I mixed my vintage paint with some gesso to go over the top again. And I didn't realise until I started applying it. It stunk. It was so mouldy smelling. It was absolutely awful. So I just walked away and left this. Oh, I put a circle of paper around here and then gone over the top with some tissue paper so it looked like a frame, and I couldn't face it. Every time I opened this page, oh, it was really smelly. Finally, a couple of months later, the smell has gone, so I decided to finish it off, especially for this sketchbook tour. So I've got a little layered tag there. Here we've got a little bit of doily, and this says family because I put this man and this lady here and they look like they're family. And a little bit of embellishment here, a little bow there. Because of the smell, I went off this. I didn't have any enthusiasm. I'm pleased with it now. I've fallen out of love with it. I'm never going to say, oh, I really love this. But I got it finished and I'm not unhappy with it. I've got a little doily that I browned and used my stamping ink. Browned it and glued it on. Another background, and this says Colour Heaven, and this was already pre-painted. Yet again, it's one of Phyllis's backgrounds, and then I added a little bit more colour on. I did not a lot because it didn't need a lot. I put my stabilo around the edge, put these words on, and I also made this flower in the middle. And these are dryer sheets, when I finish with my dryer sheets, I keep them all in my studio, and then when I'm using acrylics and I need to clean up, I use the dryer sheets to clean up. And then when they dry, you've got a lovely coating of colours on them. So these ones fitted, so I made a flower and put a button in there. That took a lot of glue to keep that in place. Now this is a recent one I made on a video to show what I did with my haul. I had lots of bits and pieces and some happy mail. So I made this and it was really fun to make. It's difficult. I really enjoy making all the bits and pieces, all the components for my page and then putting them on. But oh, it was so much fun to do this with virtually everything made. The only thing really I made here was I stuck the sticker on the front of the burlap and then stuck that on the lace. And I stuck this button on the lace on the burlap too. So that was really all. And the rest of it was just expressing myself, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I do love the colours on here with the beiges and greys and then the pinks, muted pinks, and then like the eucalyptus colour greens on the eucalyptus. This was one that I hadn't finished for a while. I didn't know what to do with it. I put it on the background and I thought, I boxed myself into a corner. I have no idea what to do with this. So I decided to leave it, go away and come back, and I did. And I finished this earlier today. So it's got today is a special day. And on here, fun, laughter, good times. I put that on there to stop the card falling out. And this is a picture I had of a little girl on a donkey. Now, unfortunately, the donkey's lost half his face, but she's having a lot of fun, isn't she? I was always too scared to go on the donkeys. They seem so big. So that goes in there. I've made like a long fabric pocket, but it is very floppy. So I use my little paper clip to hold it in place. And we've got a little bird on a sort of nest. And this I cut out of a little girl's dress. And a little measuring tape along the bottom because it suited the colour scheme, no other reason. Now this, I wanted to use these dolls. I had these on a piece of paper from Lynn, a 12 by 12, and they were like push out, they were already pre-cut. So I was thinking, what can I put those on? I don't want to wait till Christmas to use them, so I made a very romantic looking background. So we got some lace and, well, this is like a very sheer lace. We've got this lace here, lots of layers. We've got some butterfly tape here. This was off a child's dress, and this is sticky. It looks lovely, it looks vintage, but it's not. It's from the range, 97p a roll. Then glued some buttons on. Up here I got another piece off the dress from the last page, and a little bit of lace behind, and another little bit of that doily that I showed you earlier on with a little pink glittery heart. Ooh. Oh, all this talking's making my voice very dry. And I didn't bring a glass of water. Right, this says summer. I cut this off a lady's skirt. She wasn't actually wearing the skirt at the time. I had bought it in the charity shop from the pound shop because nobody wanted it and they were selling them off. On that subject, do you find that if you're walking behind somebody and they've got a lovely dress on with lots of lace or a blouse or something, you think, I could really use that in a journal? Like, no, you mustn't snip the back. You must walk away and be brave. So this, I wanted to put the word summer, but there wasn't a big enough place to actually put it. I hadn't planned ahead, so I couldn't fit the word summer. So, I do have these jigsaw pieces. So I stamped the word summer along them all. Got these little liquid pearls here that take forever to dry. They just lifted it a little bit, and a butterfly. And in here, I've just got some pretty summery type things. A ticket for going on the train, some birds, and an ace with lots of flowers around it. A little, that way up, bird on the back. And this little tag here. Oops, which has been stuck to my butterfly. I obviously put that in before my butterfly was completely dry. And that says summertime. I've got dream on here. This is from a card that somebody sent me. And I thought, well, I can use that in one of my journals and I've got it forever. Oh, this was from a lady's blouse. This butterfly here. And these were in some packs. A pack of flowers that I got. And I put some lace here and here too. Now this looks like a bit of a strange one. Now I'm going to have to find, I've got something else I want to put here. and then I'll embellish it, but it's going to be a while before I find what's supposed to go here. So I thought I'd show you this. This was for our wedding anniversary. And the cards, this is my one child made as this for Mum and Dad, and with a little bit of art, and they picked me some pretty wildflowers. So I oven pressed those. Well, you can buy a special machine to press them in the microwave. I put them in the microwave and then popped them in the oven as the oven was cooling, and then the next day I popped them in the microwave a bit and then popped them back in the oven as it was cooling, and eventually they got quite dry. And then inside then, 40 years together, happy Ruby anniversary. And over this side, I've got, this was a balloon. Our one child sent us away on a holiday for our anniversary. And when we got there was this balloon with a see-through balloon and loads of little balloons in that. And all ribbons everywhere. So I cut off as much as I could of it. It's a bit bloopy, that balloon. It's gone down now. And some of this ribbon and a little heart-shaped locket there too. And this was stuck on the balloon. Happy anniversary. So I took it off, put it on this paper, put a little heart and some lace, and I don't know if you can see there's a butterfly and more butterfly tape. I just love this butterfly tape. But we also, from our grandson, he drew us some pictures. And this one is Granny from Max. You can see there's Granny there with her hair. And this picture here is Grandpa, who hasn't got as much hair as you can tell. So they were what our grandson drew for us. And then if we open this up, he was allowed to choose the card, and he's only 2, so it says you're 1, so they changed it to you're our number 1. And that is the card that he bought us, which is supposed to be for a 1-year-old, but I think did very well for an anniversary card. Move this back over, and I think we're just about there. Yep, that was it. So if I turn this back over, and where's my flower? There, we put my flower on the top. I'll put my big giant paper clips there and there, so that it'll all stay together now. Otherwise, I know what will happen. I'll lose this front one. That's supposed to be, oops, there. Is that right? Yep. So I hope you enjoyed this journal walkthrough. It was great fun looking through again and seeing everything and trying to remember, because it's taken me so long to do. If you've enjoyed it, then please give me a thumbs up. That would be really great. I'll see you all next time, but until then, don't forget, have fun. Bye.